Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to call this meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for the City of Natchez to order. I would like to invite everyone to please stand and let us join together in prayer to be followed by our pledge. Let us pray. Father, as we come to you on this second day of Easter, we are so grateful for this time of resurrection, of renewal, this wonderful time of love. And Father, we thank you for your blessings and your favor over our city. Father, we lift up all of those who do have unspoken needs, those who are in our community suffering loss, those even city employees who are dealing with various issues, and we lift them up to you. But Father, we thank you that at this Easter time we can come to you, our risen Savior. And we thank you for that. Now, Lord, be with us as we go through this agenda. Let everything that we discuss be pleasing to you. Guide us in our deliberations, in our discussions, and we just look to you, the author of our faith and the one who we look to when we need help. Be with us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Let us repeat together our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. We'll ask the clerk to administer the roll call.
Alderwoman Hall.
Here.
Alderman Frazier.
Right here.
Alderwoman Smith.
Here.
Alderwoman Irving.
Here.
Alderman Davis. Alderman Maroney.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, all are present and accounted for with the exception of Alderman Davis.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, it's good to see everyone this evening. We will now move to our approval of minutes. Madam Clerk.
We have one set of minutes for approval this evening. It's the April 8th regular board meeting.
What is the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall
Second.
and seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, there was one.
Yes,
correction
Alderwoman
made.
Hall.
Alderwoman Irving was listed as making a motion on that meeting, but she was absent, so that's been corrected.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Alderwoman Irving.
And I just want to question the minutes as well. There was a correction made in the minutes where allocations for the swimming pool. And so I guess I wait till we get to the claims docket to discuss that because it was from the claims docket. It would increase from 68,000 to 135,000.
Right. We had some previous year invoices that were late being turned into the city. And so those monies were basically left on the table last fiscal year because those invoices were not received. So it's shifting them to pay it this fiscal year.
For us to pay.
Yes, for us to pay. That was our one half of bills that the county did not turn into us, make that request last fiscal year.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Further discussion? We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item will be city business. We do have an update tonight, information about the Natchez Visitor Center and Forks of the Road. And we now will recognize Kathleen Bond, who is our superintendent of the Natchez National Historic Park. Ms. Bond, it's good to see you. That's all right. Thank you.
Hello, how are you? Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all. I appreciate the opportunity to come before you tonight. It's been a while. I especially want to focus tonight just on the two city-owned properties that were donated to the National Park Service. The Natchez Visitor Center in 2020, and then portions of Forks of the Road in 2021. And so I just want to kind of let you know where we are with each of those. And that's what's in the packet that I've just handed you. Above and beyond that, in terms of the transition with the new executive branch administration, I'm happy to report that our park staff levels are holding stable. So a lot of other people are in a world of hurt, but we are doing okay right now. The visitor center remains closed for construction. We've installed new speed humps to stop the speeding through the driveway, people avoiding that traffic light at Canal and John R. Junkins. Our staff is pressure washing all those concrete surfaces. It looks really nice out there. We're hoping to be able to reopen the building late in 2026. We have the funding to complete the interior renovations that we've planned for. So the Park Service has done a $500,000 job on the roof, a $4.5 million air conditioning installation, and now we're spending more than $1 million renovating the interior.
It's wonderful.
And so we're hoping to have something wonderful when we finish so that we'll be part of the America 250 celebration. We're planning new exhibits and new film for the interior to tie on that theme of freedom and liberty. Because Natchez has I think some of the best and worst examples. But we're all about telling the truth.
Absolutely.
You can come here to Natchez. I've shown you a very small schematic at the bottom. It's not big changes because you can't do big changes for the amount of money we've got, but we will move the restroom will open to the interior, which gives us better safety and security. We will have a newly designed visitor center desk. We're going to move the retail up closer to the front of the building so people don't have to walk all the way to the back. We're hoping to have a little coffee concession area, and we're hoping that the State Welcome Center will come back when we open. But they will have to go back and request staff positions. So they'll need some encouragement and support from city administration if we want a welcome center in Natchez. A new problem we have, though, is that big skywalk out over the ravine has some deep erosion issues there. Luckily, we got special funding today to bring in some experts to do a condition assessment and make some recommendations. I will have to be honest and say I suspect they may recommend that we remove it because that entire superstructure was never sustainable. The windows have never been washed. But we'll see how that plays out. At Forks of the Road, we're still in the land acquisition status. And so we still have some land negotiations going on that I probably shouldn't be talking about. We do own the city-owned parcels that y'all donated, and we have acquired that historic O'Farrell house and pieces on either side of it going back towards the radio station. The negotiations are with the radio station and the Jehovah's Witness Temple. The National Park Foundation received a $1 million grant from the Mellon Foundation to help us acquire property. So this really does have national and international eyes on it. At the bridge, as you know, there's a pause on the RAISE grant that would improve the sidewalks around that area and restore the bridge. So we're, like all of you, we're waiting to hear how that can progress. I've been meeting with James and representatives from Entergy about moving power lines off of that parcel. And also we're working with AT&T for them to remove their conduit from that parcel. So I feel like we're still doing important groundwork for what we will have out there. The little bus stop exhibits have all been replaced with new exhibits. And Sir Boxley's very deteriorated exhibits, we're going to installation for the replacements for those. And so there'll be a new experience. We have a new sign, new exhibits. We're doing what we can for now. And the new exhibit panels will not be the same as Sir Boxley's. We're using the research that Jeff Mansell has done into the pension records of the U.S. colored troops. So our new examples will tell real people stories from people who were trafficked there. I think it's going to be very powerful. I've given you a little drawing, and remember, this is not a plan. This is a concept for what might happen at that space where we would have a parking lot and possibly a new visitor center building on the north side of Devereux. But we especially want to expose the actual footprints of where those markets were and where the colored troops barracks were. And then the last thing I've left with you is a flyer for our new endeavor, the Natchez Reads program. That's a partnership between our park, the Historic Natchez Foundation, the Armstrong Library, the city, and the Mississippi Book Festival. So there'll be a community read of Geraldine Brooks' horse book this summer. We'll have a series of events attached to that. The first is next Thursday night, and I've attached the top of the morning with more details about that because I'll be talking about William Johnson. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Alderman Frazier, you're recognized.
I got two questions.
Yes, sir.
First one is the bridge on Old Washington Road
Mhm.
in that area. Are they through with all the assessment and doing everything down that area?
We've done a historic structure report, we've done an erosion study, and we've done a structural study of it.
So now we just waiting on what are we
We're
waiting?
waiting on that raise grant that's going to restore it.
The possibility of raise grant, how do it look?
Nobody knows.
We got it, but it's-
Yeah, I mean, it was awarded, but it's been paused.
Okay. My next
But
question,
we are very confident that it will proceed.
I'm excited.
And we are having good results with friends of ours in DC who are very strong advocates for that grant.
That's
my other
good news.
question is, correct me if I'm wrong. You said that research from what Mr. Box did, you would no longer be using.
The panels that Sir Boxley installed belong to him,
Oh,
and they are deteriorated. So when we take them out, we have our own panels that will go in.
which our own research material, not his.
Correct. We asked him, and he said he did not want to share his with us.
Okay.
So we've talked with him.
So that's all I need to know there. 'Cause
Yes, sir.
That was my next question.
I'm going to meet with him again this week.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. That's
All
I
right.
have.
Thank you. Yes, Alderwoman Irving?
I just want to thank you for coming to give us an update.
Yes,
on
ma'am.
What's going on with the Natchez Business Center. We did need that update.
All right. Well, I'll be back when I've got more to share.
It's exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. It is a great update.
It's exciting.
And what a wonderful new tourist experience we'll be having in due time. Good things take time, as they say, but it's definitely coming. I want to say, Ms. Bond, you are a real asset to this city, as is your staff. And I don't know what we'd do without our Natchez National Historic Park and all the people you bring to Natchez and the wonderful stories that you tell about Natchez. So thank you. Thank you for what you do. Our next item will be a report on our Canal Street Bridge Replacement Project. And I want to recognize with us Mr. Ryan Holmes, who is with Waycaster Duncan Engineers. And it's so good to see you, Mr. Holmes. Thank you.
Good to see you and happy to be here tonight. Thank you, board. Before I get into this, I want to say thank you. Johnny, I know, has a long history here with the city, and we joined partnership with him a little over a year ago. And so we value the opportunity to do engineering work for you. And so just thank you for that. And I also wanted to recognize Wyatt. Wyatt, stand up if you don't mind. Wyatt Johnson is also an engineer in our office here. So he's working on a lot of these projects. I believe you got packets or some info in your packets, your board packet, James, got to you. Okay. And we have a little short PowerPoint, a little more condensed. I'll kind of walk through that. And then, if you have questions, that's kind of where we want to get to, I know. So, but we started this project a while ago, evaluating replacement options for the Canal Street Bridge. I know this is obviously a vital bridge into downtown. So we looked at several things as we were putting this, going through this process. We did some surveying out there, just surveying the area. We went through some environmental work, to rule out any environmental issues. Obviously, we looked at several replacement options, which one we felt was the best, most economical for the situation. Got a lot of utilities we've had to deal with. I'll get to that a little bit further in this presentation, but dealing with utilities, we don't want to have to buy more right away. Obviously, it's a very tight site, so we use that throughout our design process. And then, of course, the railroad. So you kind of got everything in one location there with all the utilities and the railroad. But just a few highlights of the current bridge. Most of you probably know a lot of this. The current bridge is there, was built in the 40s. It's obviously at the end of its life, as y'all experienced many repairs over the last few years. I know you recently finished one, but it is, nearing end of life for a bridge, and it's almost 100 years old there. So the current bridge is a 3-span bridge. Probably none of you, maybe a few of you may have been under it before, but it's a steel beam bridge. It's got 8-foot sidewalks on either side. The travel lanes are 12 feet. So that's just kind of an overview of what's there now. What we are proposing is a 75-foot single span bridge. So it'd be one, instead of 3 spans, it'd be 1 span. And it would, the travel lanes, the sidewalks, all that would be the same. So if you're driving across it this afternoon and you drive across it in a few years from now or whenever this new one's built, you won't notice a difference. It's going to look the same from above, but structurally it's just going to be a little different, just to be a little easier to construct, and then dealing with the railroad and homes. What we're proposing is drilled shafts. So a very typical type of construction is driving piling in the ground. They obviously do a lot at the river as well. We don't want to drive piling because there's so many buildings, obviously a church really, really close. And so we can't afford to drive pilings there. So we're going to use a method called drill shafts, which is becoming more and more common in bridge construction. So that allows us to also alter our design from what's there and do a single span structure. We'll have some retaining walls. We've talked about, I know, meeting with the mayor and James and Justin and other city department heads. This big a vital corridor into downtown, it was stressed about phase construction. And so what we've put together here is a design concept that could be phased, where we could at least try to keep one lane open through most of the construction. There may be a few little intermittent periods where we would have to close it, for a few days or something, as they set some beams or something. But for most of the, duration of construction, it would be open. So you can have tourists come in to downtown. So I know that was a big desire of the mayor and his staff. This sheet here, this is just some sketches and plan from our preliminary plans, just showing the top one there is kind of a top view looking down, showing the current beams and then our proposed. And then the bottom picture there is a side view. I know we had some preliminary meetings with the preservation board, and they stress that they want to keep the look of the bridge. So the pilasters, the lighting, the railing, those are all important things to Natchez and downtown. So those are. We've also reached out to Mississippi Department of Archives and History already. Got their blessing on this concept, pending it going and getting a final approval from the preservation board, because that has not happened yet. But we have had discussions with them. That just shows a side view, like I said earlier. If you're driving down the street there, the bridge is going to be the same width, have the same look from above. So I can't see those numbers. It's 57 feet wide is what it is. So, and then the last few items here is cost. So the first table there, we have 2 costs there that I put together. If we closed it and just basically allowed a contractor just to set up and build, at about $4.4 million. if we phased it, about 5.1. And so you may ask, well, why such a difference? It's going to slow their work down if they have to phase it. A lot more traffic control. They can only do so much at a time, kind of one lane or half of the bridge. We met extensively. I know Wyatt spent a lot of time, as we were locating and surveying out there, all the utilities. Of course, we have natural gas, power, water, sewer. And so we got with those utility providers, and they helped us develop those utility costs. And then, of course, table 3 is the utility cost added in with the full road closure or the phase construction. So kind of see the total, grand total there. That's today's dollars. Obviously funding is, but I guess maybe the next discussion. I know the mayor may want to touch on that more than I do, but we're obviously seeing prices in the bridge world. They've kind of stabilized. We're not seeing as much up and down with materials as some of buildings and things of that nature with tariffs and other. But those are 2025 costs. So.
And I will say, Mr. Duncan, in January, we had a good round of meetings in Washington to prepare our leaders for our ask. Today, we actually sent the letter and officially making our federal request. So all of that is underway. We also have made some requests at the state level, but as we all know, state budgeting has been stalled.
Gridlock.
I don't believe we will get any commitments this year from the state legislature regarding this bridge. But the good news is the repairs that have been made give us about a 4 to 5 year window to plan for this and to raise funds for this. So we're working on it.
Good deal.
I'll open it up. Any questions or comments from our aldermen?
Yes.
Yes, Alderman Frazier.
This bridge is bad. And you say it was built in the 40s. I believe it was built in the 30s. Because when the bridge opened up, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the president. Here's my only concern, and this plan is when I'm looking at it, it's a pretty decent plan. But my concern is the church next to it. All this drilling and shaking. My concern is these parishioners, if they start complaining, if the foundation of the church starts cracking, who's gonna be responsible for that?
Good question. Very good question.
Mhm.
One that we've was that all your question? I didn't mean to interrupt it.
Yeah, but like I was just finished comment because this church, it's been about 50 years now since that church been in that spot. But I'm quite sure these parishioners at the church, they probably not aware of this. But after I looked at you said that building drilling and all this shaking and stuff compound, it's gonna be a problem with the church. Either we gonna, either we're gonna have to have them, either the city or somebody gonna have to buy the church out and add in the move. Now, that's another issue.
Can you?
I'm just.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't want you to finish. Can you scroll back right there, up. I'm sorry, down, right there. Maybe can you zoom in on the bottom, possibly the bottom part? Good question. That's something we take very, very seriously when we're working on projects. Is how we deal with the neighbors. Whether it's obviously this is in a very built part of town. It's not out on a county road where there's nothing nearby. So that's good. So it's something we spend a lot of time talking about amongst us engineers on how do we deal with, because there's also other businesses on the north side of the bridge that are close to. The church is the closest.
Yeah, church growth.
You know, that's why we are,
There's a family behind the church.
Yeah. There he is.
There was a family that lives behind the church.
If we could, Mr. Duncan has the floor. Mr. Duncan?
thank you. So it's something that we obviously discussed and talked about for a lot of time. And that's why we want to use drill shafts. So drill shafts is not invasive like pile driving. So if we were to, a standard type bridge, we would drive piling. Y'all may have seen that before. They have a big, crane up in the air, and they're actually they're hitting, concrete or steel piling. And so that causes a lot of vibration. That's what we did want to do. So the drill shaft, it's a slower, less disturbing method of construction. So I would not anticipate any issues with the church at all. Drill shafts are commonly used in large metropolitan areas, downtown areas where you can't drive piling because you may have a very tall building right next to you. So you can't have the vibration that it could cause.
For the same reasons, the Natchez Convention Center is anchored with drill piles.
If you could speak what Mr. Waycaster just said, Mr. Holmes, into the microphone.
Yeah, he said that the Natchez Convention Center,
For the same reasons.
same reasons, the Natchez Convention Center is on drill shafts as well. So because of all the buildings around.
I'm not an engineer or anything, but what he just said, the same reason, the convention center, I understand about that, but look where we're sitting at in proximity to the river. You couldn't use it. If you drill those piles too far in the ground, you're
That's
gonna
right.
get
Get
water.
water.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So I'm not an engineer, but I do have something up here, not too much.
I understand. Good
But
point.
you're gonna drill, and we're in the same proximity.
Mhm.
If you take, either way it goes, if you take that and you drill it, how far are those going down in the ground?
We haven't determined the exact depth yet, but they'll probably be 100+ feet in the ground. So.
Like I say, this just me now. Any disturbance that you have, it's gonna shake that foundation of that church and those people's houses back there. And in the coming times, something gonna start shifting, and then the people gonna start complaining. The church is shifting, the house shifting, so then we got a problem. But my job is just to let people know what I'm thinking and what could happen.
Absolutely. Understand. And obviously, we can certainly provide more information to make you feel comfortable with whatever decisions made.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Alderwoman Irving, you are recognized.
Thank you. And I just want to piggyback on what Alderman Frazier said. I do agree with him. Those would be my concerns as well. But the other thing is community engagement. Had we spoke with the members of that community, the resident, because there's a Hampton Hotel there as well. There's a store across. I think the residents in the area and the businesses need to be able to be informed. So not only should we receive this information, maybe a meeting of those business owners that are in close proximity. As Alderman Frazier said, you have the convention center that's not very far. So we're looking at what could possibly happen and planning for the future. It may not show up a year from now, but 5 years from now, this is the impact that it has had on these buildings in those in that location. So and even the visitor center is not very far in close proximity. So the outcome of what this could be in years to come. So we are planning for the future. We're planning for this bridge. We do need to have the community engagement so that if any of the business owners, church, any of those hotel management would have questions of any kind, this would be available for them as well. Because I'm sure that would be a great concern.
I think, yeah, absolutely. It's a good idea.
Thank
Very
you.
good idea.
Alderman Maroney, you're recognized.
Ryan, could you please explain maybe briefly the process of drill shaft foundations? and how
I
that
can.
works, So
And
that maybe we have a better idea of how that works. Because I understand, pile driving and the impact and the vibration. I think everybody's
Yeah,
seen and
that's
experienced that.
not an option. It's not
Right,
an
yeah, it's
option.
not an option,
not
but
an
maybe
option.
explain the drilled shaft foundation,
Yeah, yeah.
how they actually do it.
I can, and also, there's methods there's equipment we can put out near the bridge to monitor vibrations. There's lots of things we can get, as we get more into the process, we can certainly give you, I definitely think, obviously you guys are the first to see this. Community engagement's a good idea because I'm sure people are concerned about, closure. How's it going to affect my business or things like that. I'll point here though, maybe on this side if you don't mind. So, if you see the current bridge, we're going to move it in a little bit. The very end there with on each end with the lights, that's where the existing bridge ends. We're going to move it in a little bit. So we're actually moving it away from the church on the south side and the businesses on the north side. So that's actually going to be a retaining wall that'll be built there. It just it makes a little bit more sense to build it in that way. So we're shortening it up. But drill shafts, it's a slow process. They'll use slurry and they'll drill. They'll drill it slow. It's almost.
They basically just drill a vertical shaft.
They're just drilling a vertical shaft, along this bridge. And they, depending on, water tables and things of that nature that we'll figure out, later in the process, is that they may use cement and other materials to stabilize the hole as they
They
go down.
basically drill a hole, fill it with rebar and concrete. And
That's right.
rather than driving it in, they're just drilling it and pouring it in.
That's right.
And it's vertical.
That's right.
Okay.
One other thing.
So really, hang on just a second. So it's really just like the power company going out and putting in a new power pole. Obviously they're drilling a hole and putting a pole in and then packing it, but it's the same basic process, except they're going much deeper. It's going to be much larger.
Big,
obviously.
larger, yeah.
But it's just a big drill. It drills a hole in the ground.
Okay, thank you. Alderwoman Irving,
I was
you're
just, you
recognized.
mentioned retainer wall. So would that consist of a concrete retainer wall?
They'll pour it in place. Yeah.
Okay.
They'll form it and pour it in place.
Okay.
And that's just so we can. Right now, the end of the bridge has a slope on it,
Mhm.
and kind of hard to maintain. Grows up and kudzu and other. So this will actually have a straight vertical wall. So if you're underneath it on the railroad, it'll have a straight vertical wall.
Okay.
No-
I want to thank you, Mr. Holmes. I called you Mr. Duncan a minute ago.
I'm
Ryan,
good.
you've been great. And obviously, we'll have plenty of time to study this and go over it because this is not a project that would likely take place for another 5 years. But we're starting. We're starting. Do we have any other discussion? All right. I want to thank you.
Thank you all very
For
much.
being here, Mr. Waycaster. Mr. Johnson, good to have you in Natchez helping, and we do appreciate you. Do we have any other city business this evening? Any other business to take care of? All right. We will move to department directors' reports. Mr. Johnston, you are recognized.
Good evening, Madam Board.
Good evening.
I updated my report and put a new one at your respective desks earlier today. First item, Silver Street Brick Retaining Wall Rehab Project funded by the DRA with local matching funds. Bids for the above referenced capital improvement activity were received at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. Due to 2 bidding irregularities, in addition to the bids inadvertently being opened 30 minutes ahead of time, staff is requesting a motion that all bids be rejected.
So it's a pleasure of the board. Motion made by Alderwoman Hall,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion? We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in the favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Johnston.
Under the same activity, staff is requesting a motion to re-advertise for general contractors for this capital improvement project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Maroney and seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion? We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Johnston. Next item.
Bid package number 4, roof replacement bids, Natchez City Auditorium, 2022 Convention Center bond issue. Bid for bid package number 4 were received today at 10 o'clock a.m. in the office of the city clerk. A summary of the bids were received as follows. And you see, we had quite a bit of interest in this project earlier today. We were very much surprised at the number of bidders and the interest showed. Staff, in concert with consulting architect Wake Castor Duncan, is requesting a motion to accept the base bid and add alternate number 1 of Independent Roofing Systems, Inc., totaling $112,700 to perform the specified work.
What is the pleasure of the board?
So
You said
moved.
128,000, you said 112.
112.
I said
Hey, I have a-
$112,700.
I have a motion by Alderman Maroney. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Frazier. Discussion?
Uh,
Yes, Alderman Maroney.
I'm assuming we know who Independent Roofing Systems is
They
and,
put the roof on next door.
pardon?
They put the roof on next door, yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
We worked with them multiple times, yes.
Correct.
They are,
That was my
they're a local
question.
company.
Jackson.
Jackson, okay.
They did the
Okay.
city hall roof, they did the auditorium in the back as well earlier last year, I believe it was.
In fact, they came in under budget on the city hall job and allowed
Tremendously.
us money to go ahead and restore the
Tremendously.
interior of city.
Many years ago, they did the triangle filling station as a small favor.
I'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Johnston.
FY23 Homeland Security Grant Program funded by the Office of Homeland Security. Staff and Fire Chief Robert Arrington request a motion to extend the grant period from August 31st, 2025 to October 31st, 2025 due to unexpected delays in delivery and receiving of the approved equipment ordered in March.
So
What's the
moved.
pleasure? Motion has been made by Alderwoman Hall. A second
Second.
by Alderman Frazier. Discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Alderman Frazier.
One question.
Yes.
Chief, you can stay right that way. But do we expect to get this grant, or is it in the hold zone, freeze on this?
We have received the grant. What we're waiting on is equipment. So we've already ordered the equipment. It's just taking us a long time to get that said equipment. It's a custom made deal that's going to go on the truck, and it's taking a long time to get that equipment. So we didn't want to get outside of the grant cycle, but we have received the grant. We have been awarded those grant funds, and once we have purchased everything, we'll submit everything for reimbursement.
Okay.
Yeah, POs were issued last month. We just, instead of waiting until too close to the time period, we just.
Yeah, I think we need to get ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff.
Sir?
I think we need to get ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff.
We tried to.
Tried our best.
Tried to.
All right.
I just have a question.
Alderwoman Irving?
Which equipment is it? Can you be more specific?
So the equipment that we're waiting on is the bed slide. It's going to hold all of these rescue equipment.
Oh.
It'll make it fit in the back of the truck.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Mr. Johnston, next item.
Fry Building Abatement 2023 EPA Brownfields Cleanup Grant. Staff in concert with PPM Environmental Consultants is requesting a motion to approve task order number 5 totaling $2,000 for the remittance of payment to the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality for the processing of the city's Mississippi Brownfields Program application. In order to receive the liability protection provided to brownfield parties for cleaning up sites under the Mississippi Brownfield Program, the Mississippi Brownfield Volunteer Cleanup and Redevelopment Act requires an application to be submitted and the applicant, the city of Natchez, to pay an application fee for administering the program. Once the site has been cleaned up, the city will receive a no further action letter from the executive director of DEQ, which demonstrates that the site was cleaned up in a manner that is protective of human health and the environment, ensuring that citizens at the site is safe from reuse and redevelopment.
What is the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Maroney. Second.
Second.
Seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion? Yes, Alderwoman Irving.
I know we have businesses in that building now,
Correct.
so will they have to,
We'll be giving them plenty of notice. I mean, we're right now doing a lot of prelim work, but they will be given notice to vacate at the appropriate time, yes.
okay, all right. So what's the time frame we're looking at?
We're still developing the time frame, but ultimately, and this is not set in stone, we'd like to have contracts received within the monies budgeted and begin on or around the first part of October,
Okay, okay,
working towards that goal.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to say on this, there has been some talk about the city borrowing $500,000 to assist in bringing down the Fry building. We have a grant of 1.2 million. In the event that we may go over that amount, we do have an option for a loan as a safeguard.
Correct.
We might use a third of it. We may use half of it. We could use all of it. Hopefully less than more. But then obviously as then that parking lot comes into business servicing the EOLA, there will be a small amount to retire on that project debt-wise. And we will have to collect from the project and from those parking in that parking lot to take care of that loan. I don't want people thinking we're just borrowing money to borrow money. We may have to borrow some money, a very small percentage of what this overall project will cost. And then that money will be, repaid out of the project.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Johnson, you had a,
I do want to
More
add,
than-
and yes, sir, we do have a pending loan application with DEQ. I mean, its rates are much better than anything we could find
Yeah.
conventionally. And there are still the possibility that we may be able to get some of it waived as well.
Mhm.
So, I mean, right now it's still in the review process.
it's a really great program
It
that the DEQ offers for economic development. Alderwoman Irving,
He
you are
answered my question. I
recognized.
was gonna ask,
Okay.
where was the loan?
It's under review and we're hoping to have
With
some type
DEQ.
of letter by DEQ, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay.
In place sometime next month.
Thank you. We're very grateful to Trey Hess, PPM. They have done so much work on so many sites, and this is going to be yet another example of a brownfield being turned into a green field. And that is green as in the color of money. Let us now call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Next item, Mr. Johnson.
Fry Building demolition, 2025 DEQ Brownfield Revolving Loan Fund. Staff in concert with PPM Consultants is requesting a motion to prepare a Natchez Preservation Commission application for a certificate of appropriateness for the demolition of the Fry Building and adjacent parking lot and for placement of said application on an upcoming commission agenda.
What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Maroney,
Second.
seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion? It's more of what we've been discussing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Next item, Mr. Johnson.
While we're still discussing EPA and brownfields and the like, I do want to remind the board, we have a pending application under review by the EPA, US EPA, for another assessment grant. And so hopefully we'll be hearing something in June for another $500,000, zero match.
Great, thank you.
Canal and Homachita Street milling and overlay project. Staff, Mr. Dollar, Mr. Johnston is requesting a motion to approve lump sum contract with Waycaster Dungan to provide the needed daily on-site inspection and monitoring services of construction-related activities to the correction of the identified deficiencies associated with this milling and overlay project. The work by the city's contractor is expected to last approximately 2 weeks. Waycaster Duncan is offering the proposed inspection services for a lump sum fee of $2,500 and is for the duration to finish up this project.
So
Well, it's a
moved.
pleasure. Alderwoman Hall has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Maroney. I want to thank Waycaster Dungan for this great offer, and it's a very reasonable amount. Mr. Holmes, Mr. Waycaster, Mr. Johnson, you're hiding back there. But we could not be more excited to be able next week to see this project start. And the vast majority of the asphalt project, as we've been talking about for a long time now, on Canal Street and Homachita Street, is being milled up and reapplied in an appropriate way, meeting every requirement of Volkert Engineers, our engineering firm on this project, and at no additional cost to the city, and with the same contractor in place and no litigation. But the subcontractor will be APAC, and we are very grateful to APAC for stepping in to help us. Alderman Maroney?
I'm glad to hear it's APAC. They did a good job on the short term, the fix-it work that they did. I'm just gonna ask you guys, watch them like a hawk. Make sure it's all done right this time. We don't want to have to do this again. And be hard on them. Don't let them slide on anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Alderman Frazier?
This going all the way out of Homachita and all the way out Canal. Did we do it all the way out on both ends?
It will
North and
address
south?
the deficiencies as noted in the Vulcan report from January. I don't think they may know the exact details with regard to it, but it'll address the deficiencies in the report, unless Ryan wants to add more to it. The deficiencies.
Every deficiency is being addressed, and we are very grateful, Alderman Frazier, the deficiencies we were discussing over the past few months.
Yeah.
Every one of those
So they're gonna
will be.
don't make sure everything's done right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any further discussion? Will?
No, I was just gonna say that on Homachita, I drive Homachita a lot. There's some sections of Homachita that are fine. And they won't be redoing those,
Right.
but it's pretty obvious which pieces
Oh,
need
yeah.
to be redone.
It is.
I don't think
That's
there's
correct.
much question, so.
All right, we'll call for the question. We will call the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. All opposed, nay. I need to hear some more ayes. I heard Alderwoman Smith. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you. We
I do
now-
have one small
more
item.
item?
Mr. Dahl asked me to bring it up. He brought this up in his last report. And he was requesting to surplus two vehicles, one of them being a 2006 Ford Crown Vic. And Alderwoman Hall had expressed an interest in this vehicle being donated. Can you clarify
Yes,
the
sir. I've
organization?
spoken to our attorney about this, and I move that the surplus vehicle 2006 Ford Crown Victoria, VIN number 2, F as in Frank, A as in Alpha, F as in Frank, P as in Paul, 74, V as in Victor, 56X as in xylophone, 130117, mileage 165,037, be sold to Adams County Youth Court in the amount of $1.
All right.
You say sold or donated?
I will
No.
need a motion. This is something that we actually tabled last time. I think, if I recall, we did have a motion last time that Alderwoman Hall made, but that motion was tabled.
I think that's
We
correct.
tabled the
Yeah, well,
motion
according to the
because we
minutes.
weren't sure we could donate our
Right.
property. And I
So-
spoke to the attorney, we can sell it in the amount of $1.
So what I need now is a motion to remove this item. It was tabled, to remove it from a tabled status so this motion becomes an active motion again. Alderwoman Hall, I assume you're making the motion to untable it?
Yes, sir.
And do I have a second to untable the motion?
Second.
Alderman Frazier has made that motion. We are now in discussion on the motion. Alderman Frazier, I
So-
recognize you.
Mr. Attorney,
Yes, sir.
is it legal for the city to donate or sell something to the county?
Right.
Is it in state statute or what?
There's no prohibition of that, no, sir. But we're selling it for $1.
Okay, we're selling it.
It's in essence a donation, but we're selling it for $1.
I just wanna make sure that we're doing it as state protocol. Is it legal for us to do that? Or either can we just swap vehicles or what? Swap them out of what? I'm just asking. I just need to know, that's all.
The city is selling it to the Adams County Public Health Safety Board for $1.
So
Okay,
you're saying it's legal?
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
We're not donating it for
We
sale.
have that all on record, then I'll call for the question.
Oh,
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Clarification, who made motion in second?
The motion originally was made by Alderwoman Hall. Last meeting, who seconded that motion last meeting? I think it was Alderwoman Smith.
Excuse me.
The motion you made last meeting,
Checking.
you made this motion. Who seconded that original motion? I believe it was
I think it was
Alderwoman
Alderman
Smith
Davis according to the
or Alderman
minutes. It's in the
Davis?
minutes.
It was Alderman Davis.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Alderman Davis.
Okay.
That's what I
We've
thought.
got it corrected. Alderman Davis. Okay. All right, Mr. Johnson,
And that concludes my report.
that concludes your report. Thank you
Yes, sir.
so much.
Thank you.
We will now move to city official reports. Alderwoman Hall, your report.
Yes, so we've already discussed the vehicle. The dedication of the city cemetery columbarium is this Sunday, April 27th, 2025 at 2 p.m. and the public is invited.
Okay.
We also had a discussion at our last meeting about the opioid settlement funds. So I'm going to make a motion that moving forward, the opioid settlement monies that the city of Natchez receives be transferred to Adams County Youth and Family Drug Court.
All right, a motion has been made by Alderwoman Hall to transfer those funds. Do I have a second?
Moving forward, Mr. Mayor. we
Moving
cannot go
forward.
back.
We can't go back. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Alderwoman Smith has seconded that motion. We'll have discussion.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Alderwoman Irving.
I'm just questioning because I didn't know of a conversation or a meeting or anything that we've had to make that decision. I'm not in opposition of it going to the youth court.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to the board making a decision, it should be discussion that's spread among minutes, documentation that's given to every member of the board, so we will all know what's going on. We never had that information firsthand.
Mhm.
So in the near future, I would like something in writing,
Mhm.
okay? Because it has not been a discussion.
You are correct.
Mr. Mayor, we have had a
Alderwoman
discussion.
Hall. Alderwoman Hall, back to
Judge
you.
Walt Brown and Miss Doherty came before this board several months ago asking that our portion of the opioid settlement monies be given to Youth and Family Drug Court.
I may not have
Okay.
been present, so I
That-
still
we
did
had
not
that
get that
discussion.
information.
All right.
So
Do-
it does
do we-
need to be
Do we have
given.
the amount, or ballpark amount of the funds that we're discussing?
Yeah, that's what I was
discussed
like.
with, our city clerk, and to date, we have already received $9,000.
$9,000.
But that money has never gone
Okay.
for what it is designated.
It's not a large amount. I remember the county
I
got a
just
large
wanted the
amount,
dollar
but we
amount
did.
so that we would know.
Certainly, certainly.
We don't-
Further discussion?
Right, we don't know what's gonna be coming in the
Yeah,
future. That's why I said moving forward.
Moving forward, okay. The motion's been made. We have had discussion. Any further discussion? We'll call for the question.
Called.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Alderwoman Irving, if you'll communicate with the city clerk's office on your question, I'm certain that she'll be able to help you get any information you need.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anything further in your report, Alderwoman Hall?
That's all.
Okay, thank you so much. Alderman Frazier, you're
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
recognized.
This month, I attended a town hall meeting hosted by Congressman Betty Thompson. It was very informative. We had a packed crowd. It was a lot being said and a lot for the community to digest. That was one of the things I did. Also, I want to say, I have an application here from Ms. Lydia Blackman, who are interested in prosecuting attorney. So I have a resume and everything here. I've issued some of mine already, Mr. Mayor, and that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you, Alderman Fraser. Thank you. Alderwoman Smith, do you have anything on your report?
No report.
No report? All right, thank you. Alderwoman Irving, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to ask, I know this is April, and I just want to ask, have we received our 603 money or our internet money? Has that money been received for this year,
No, that usually comes in June and September.
June and September? Okay. And my next, I guess my next question, Mr. Mayor, I just want to ask, I know you did a fundraiser. You and other members of this board did a fundraiser or donation
Yes.
in reference to the Banks House. And I just want to ask, what was the success of that?
We had a very nice event. That fundraiser is going on, is
It's still
ongoing. And I have asked actually the individuals there at the museum to work with us in creating for them a GoFundMe page. I'm hoping they'll have a GoFundMe page soon that we can share. And I'm glad you brought it up because that is such a valuable asset to this community. But about $15,000 is needed to make repairs to the roof to stop leaks. And these repairs can be made without having to replace the historic metal roof that's on the house. They have not told me how they've done so far with the fundraising, but I do have a couple angels in our community who have said they would be happy to make some matches once these funds are coming in.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, can we clarify
Alderwoman
the
Hall?
statement? Legally, we cannot do
No,
fundraisers.
No, we're
So
not.
we were
It's-
I
asking
said
people.
donations.
Alderwoman Hall,
We were there to support the Banks House in their efforts to do fundraising.
that's correct.
But I thought when I read the communication, and that's what I'm referring to, the communication that
We
I
were-
saw in
We
the,
were there promoting their
yes, the promotion. of it.
fundraising effort. That's correct.
Yes. Okay.
Back to you, Alderwoman Irving.
Thank you. And I also want to say that I have a neighborhood watch meeting in the Montevideo area. And that location is at 33 Minor Street at Macedonia Baptist Church. That's going to be April 23rd at 6 p.m. The special guests will be representatives from our Natchez Police Department and our Code Enforcement Department, Mr. Best and Mr. Baldwin. Mr. Mayor, if you are available, I hope that you could attend the meeting and any members of the board to attend the meeting as well.
What is that date again?
That's tomorrow evening, the 22nd.
I will be on the coast tomorrow with our Planning and Development District Conference.
Okay.
So
okay.
sorry I can't be there,
Okay.
but please tell everyone hello.
I sure will.
Thank
And there's more plans, so have you
Yes.
there in the
That's
near
tomorrow
future.
evening.
That's tomorrow evening at
Okay.
6.
Thank you.
Okay, and I also received an application from Mrs. Roberta, a resume from Ms. Roberta Blackman in reference to her position for county prosecutor, city prosecutor. Thank you for correcting me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Mhm. And that ends
Um,
my report.
All right, Alderman Maroney, we come to you now.
I want to encourage folks to attend these neighborhood watch meetings. We've had a very active neighborhood watch group over, it's actually kind of citywide, but we meet over in my ward, Parkville Baptist Church, every few months. And we had a very good meeting recently. And there's a group of folks over in the Montebello area that have really banded together just on their few streets and been tackling some issues that they've had with some suspect individuals and some problem houses over in there. And they're banding together and getting to know each other and working on these problems. They're getting some results. And so I want to encourage folks to support these neighborhood watch meetings. They really can be effective. And if nothing else, it gets neighbors together maybe that didn't know each other previously. And it kind of bonds the community together, and that's always a good thing. It's always a good thing. It's got people watching out for each other, watching out for their neighborhoods, cleaning up some lots maybe that need some cleaning up. I know they've done some of that over in the Montebello area. We're going to have a small little meeting Thursday night, just of that group, and I'll be there. But it's been effective, and so I want to encourage people to follow up with these meetings and attend them. It's good for your community, very good for your community.
Thank you.
Another item, understand we're in need of a city public defender. I'd like to nominate Mr. Scott Slover for that position.
Okay, are you making that in form of a
I'm
motion?
making that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Alderwoman Smith has seconded the motion. I see Mr. Slover sitting back there. Hello, Mr. Slover. Well, thank you. We recognize the motion. We now have discussion.
Okay.
Okay, Alderwoman Irving.
I want to begin with this. When we received the resumes, and I just made you all aware, because I thought this would be something that the board as a whole would have a discussion on.
And we certainly can.
And we will,
Yeah.
but I just want to say, this is the second, third time that we've had a motion out on the floor, and we've got other resumes in front of us that we're looking at,
Oh, wait, I
that
thought
we
y'all said
can't,
that was prosecutor,
oh, and what do we, he's for what now?
public defender.
Public defender. Is there any other candidates? Because is that a conflict of interest?
He is the only candidate that is here tonight. I know that another candidate may have been mentioned, but is not here. But you have made the motion. We'll continue having discussion on this motion. Alderman
I would
Frazier?
like to see.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
let me address this right now. Ms. Blackman is not here simply because of reason. She couldn't make it because she's at a conference of prosecuting attorneys. So that's where she's at today. But she did send her resume and everything else. Now, as you know, I'm a person like this. I'm gonna be straight, frank, and honest, and to the point. I love Scott and everything, but Scott do not have prosecuting attorney experience. Now, we can sit up here all day and everybody gonna vote the way they wanna vote, and I'm not gonna get mad about where you vote or who you vote for. But Ms. Blackman have prosecuting attorney experience. She's at a conference right now. Right now, she's at a prosecuting attorney conference. And I understand everybody loves Scott, but we need somebody with the experience. Now, Scott's sitting out in the office, out here in the public. I would like to ask Scott, do you have prosecuting attorney experience?
Mr. Mayor.
I got the flow, Sarah.
Please clarify the motion.
The motion is not for a
I mean,
prosecutor.
a public defender, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
this
I'm
is
just-
not for a city prosecutor.
yeah.
The motion is to
For a
appoint a
public
public defender.
Well, see, we have people on the phone that button in each day out when the turn comes. I'd like to answer that question.
It's a fair question. Mr. Slover, if you will, come to the podium. And I would like to, at this time, even though we do have a motion underway, I do need to have a motion to allow Mr. Slover to address the board because he's not on the agenda. And so I need just a courtesy
I make a
motion.
that he
Motion
address-
made by Alderwoman
I'd like to
Irving,
make the motion that he
seconded
address the-
Alderman Frazier. Any opposed to that motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Mr. Slover, if you would like to answer the question, share any comments that you have with the board.
Sure. I have public defender experience. I was also the youth court defender experience for several different years. And I'm the current defendant down in Wilkinson County as a youth court defender as well. I did defense work. Well, Jack Lazarus was a lunacy special master, still is, did a lot of work there too. Most every attorney cuts their teeth on doing public defense work when they come in. And I did everything from murder, rape, armed robbery, arson, burglary. That was all in one case, in fact. And with youth court, did that for 4 or 5 different years. And it's very similar to the situation that you're in on the misdemeanor prosecution levels, where you've got to come in, build a rapport, develop a strategy, and put on a trial with not a lot of time. And so it's very similar to that. Lower courts, in my mind, are extremely important when it comes to the trustworthiness of a criminal justice system. Because most people, they don't commit a felony. They might not have $1 million lawsuit, but they might get a speeding ticket. They might get a DUI. They might get a shoplift. They may get a lower level defense. And so if they're not treated like this is important to them, then they kind of lose faith on the justice system as a whole. And so these lower court positions, I think, are extremely important and need to be treated importantly. And of course, I don't take any offense, because you obviously have someone else as you're pushing. So I totally understand.
I understand. You just said that basically you deal with youth court. That's a different youth court in regular court. Am I correct?
I did youth court, but I also did public defense for adults as well. So, and I've certainly done misdemeanors from the time that I was licensed, and I did a misdemeanor last week. So and I was public defender. We were assigned misdemeanors, it's like I said, 4 or 5 years into our practice, we're doing that.
That's been 4 or 5 years ago since you practiced.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like I say, you being the county prosecutor, and now you're applying for the position.
I'm
He's the
sorry,
county
he's the
attorney.
county
I
attorney.
mean, county attorney,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All this is the county attorney. Now you apply for the position of city prosecuting attorney.
No, city public offender,
City.
City public
Yes,
offender.
Public offense, okay?
public defender.
If something come up in one of those cases dealing with the county, would you handle that?
If something came up where I had a conflict of interest,
Yes.
I would make sure that I had somebody to back me up, as I have stepped in and filled in for the city as their defense attorney when needed. I've done it several different times throughout my time being here. So that's your responsibility. If you're putting anybody, you got to be able to have somebody that steps
But it's
in.
still a conflict of interest, though.
If there is a conflict of interest, as there can be conflicts of interest in any type of representation, then you've got to find somebody to fill in, not the city. That'd be your job as the attorney to do that.
Mr. Attorney.
To the city attorney. You
Yeah.
said, have you looked into this, what?
Yes, sir. We've looked into it extensively, Mr. Frazier, and I've had discussions with Mr. Slover and with others, and also with the Mississippi Ethics Commission. We've received an advisory opinion, not for us, but a previous advisory opinion from June of 2012, in which the exact facts were presented to the Ethics Commission in reverse. By in reverse, I mean the question was, may a municipal public defender also be employed by a county? And the answer is yes, because the city and county are separate governmental entities, and the section which is quoted will not prohibit a county employee from being a public defender in municipal court. So there is no conflict of interest.
Well, that's
Alderman
that
Frazier.
was through the Ethics Commission. So you didn't get an opinion from the Attorney General.
There is an opinion from the Attorney General as well. I don't have it with me tonight, but there is one.
Or I don't have neither one of them in front of me, so I really don't know neither.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Alderman Frazier. Further discussion?
Call for the question.
The question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. Alderwoman Hall.
Aye.
Alderman Frazier. Alderwoman Smith.
Aye.
Alderwoman Irving.
Nay.
Alderman Maroney.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Motion carries. Mr. Slover, we look forward to you being our new public defender. Thank you and congratulations to you. We do appreciate your service to our city and county. You've been here many years, and so we look forward to your continued service. Thank you. Alderman Maroney, do you have anything further to report?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. With that said, we now will go to the city clerk for her report.
First item I have is a request for approval of the second April 2025 claims docket. I would like to point out that the invoice payment reflected on page 36 to Theobald Construction was the incorrect invoice for this docket. That check was discovered after the dockets went out. That payment has been voided. We will be paying the correct invoice in the amount of $21,000, and that will show up on the next mini docket.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderwoman
With the
Hall
corrections noted.
with the correction,
Second.
second by Alderman Maroney. We'll have now discussion.
I saw some things, Mayor, but I
Yes,
reached out to
Alderwoman Irving.
Megan, and I asked her to give me a call. She just saw the message this afternoon, and I did not have time within about a 45 window getting to this meeting,
Yes.
coming here. So I did not have time to have any discussion with her, but I will
Okay.
have some, because there's several things in the budget that I do want to discuss.
Oh, certainly.
And I also have something that I would like to discuss with the contract, Mayor, and I know those can't be discussed openly in public, but that is something I want to bring to your attention
Okay.
so that we can.
All
have a
right.
discussion.
All right. Thank you. Any further discussion? We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item is a request for approval of the second April 2025 mini claims docket.
What was the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Motion
Second.
made by Alderman Hall, seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion? We'll call for the question.
Call.
We will now proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Okay, next item is a request for approval of travel for myself and Ms. Caroline Deason to attend the 2025 annual Phelps Labor and Employment Training Seminar. It's going to be held in Biloxi this year, June 12th through the 13th. This is the seminar and training session that we attend every year that is no cost to the city. Of course, the travel expense, but the registration and all is covered by Phelps.
All right.
So
Second.
Well, motion has been made by Alderwoman Irving and seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion? We'll call for the question.
Call.
Proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item?
I've got a couple items that kind of found out last minute today. Requested by Lynette West. This is for the Mississippi homeowner grant for the renovations.
Home Corporation.
Home Corporation, sorry, yes, thank you. She is at a conference and could not be here. She is asking for approval for the mayor to sign the original homeowner eligibility acknowledgement forms and return those to the Mississippi Home Corp and to her. That's the first request.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion?
those were for the, what was it, 8 people that got approved for that?
Was it?
8? Okay.
All right.
Yes.
We'll call for the question.
All.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. There's another item, Madam Clerk.
Yes, two other requests. Next one being requesting that the board approve the advertisement to be published on May 9th.
Was the pleasure of the board.
So moved.
We have to, and the advertisement being for.
She didn't specify. Like I said, this was given to me very last minute today.
So does the city pay for the
Let me
advertising?
tell you,
Proposals. So I think this is
Yes,
to,
it's for professional services.
Yeah.
yeah, the
For the
publishing.
home project, that's what it's for.
Mhm.
For which project?
for the Mississippi Home Corp grant project.
Okay.
And it
So
is
it's-
advertising for the professional services needed to carry this project out. Yes. And Ms. West would be here, but she is on the coast at the
She's in her
PDD
conference.
conference. So I'll entertain a motion to advertise for those professional services.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, second by Alderman Frazier. We'll have discussion. We'll call for the question.
Paul?
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
And I
Madam
think her
Clerk?
last request is not something that requires board action. It's just her request be placed on the agenda at the second meeting in May. So we'll take care of that in
Okay.
August.
All right. Thank you so
Sorry
much,
for the
Madam Clerk.
confusion.
Mr. Attorney, do you have a report?
No report, Mayor.
Okay, no report. Thank you. Well, my report, y'all already took care of the item I had on mine. And I was going to make an update, one of them, and Alderman Irving mentioned it, but I did so enjoy being at the Dr. John Banks house. And I'm glad to see you here, Miss Thelma Newsom, who gave us a tour of the house. And it was a great tour. I need to come back and get the rest of the tour. We did this on Facebook Live, and we did not want to spoil it for everybody. Gave them a teaser, but they'll have to come back and take the full tour and bring money because we do need to raise those funds, as we just mentioned it. Alderman Irving, thank you for bringing that up. It's such an important thing. I do want to say we have had so many events every weekend. It's hard to cover them all. And so I'm just going to say a blanket thank you to everybody because it really has been great. I will say, though, that our Mayor's Youth Council has been so busy. They will be on the bluff again with a special fundraiser this Saturday. Also, we will be at the Rhythm Nightclub for the annual commemoration of that tragedy that occurred so many years ago. That will be taking place at 11. And then also around noon, we'll be having the Poocha Palooza. It's a fundraiser that we do every year for the Humane Society. And then Alderwoman Hall, you've already mentioned it, will be at the cemetery for the columbarium Sunday. I tell people, if you think there's nothing to do here in Natchez, you must live in a different zip code from me because we've had so much to do and so many things to be grateful for. That is going to conclude my report. There's so much I could talk about, but I think over the course of the next week or two, I'll be on the radio. We'll be Facebook Live, and people will get all that. So with all of that said, I'll entertain a motion now to adjourn. A motion has been made by Alderwoman Hall.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Enjoy your night here at the City Council chamber. We're going home, and we now, motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you.